Welcome to the SK Newsline in Newscast. I'm your presenter, Andre Huey. During an August sitting of the St. Kitts Nevis National Assembly, the country's Prime Minister commented for the first time on the alleged bribery of a government official by U.S. convicted money launderer Nigerian Hush Puppy, who is said to have obtained St. Kitts Nevis citizenship through false documentation, according to the United States FBI. SK Newsline's Glenn Bart reports.
Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris said an investigation has been launched into allegations that a government official was bribed in an application for St. Kitts and Nevis citizenship by U.S. convicted Nigerian scammer Raymond Abbas, well known as Hush Puppy. Abbas, arrested by U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigation, recently pleaded guilty to money laundering in a U.S. Court of Justice. Information coming from the U.S. Attorney's Office, Central District of California, states, quote, other illicit proceeds from the scheme were allegedly converted into cashier's checks, including $50,000 in checks that were used by Abbas and a co-conspirator to fraudulently acquire St. Christopher and Nevis citizenship, as well as a passport for Abbas obtained by creating a false marriage certificate and then bribing a government official in St. Kitts, end quote. The St. Kitts and Nevis connection with the Hush Puppy case was also reported in the international news media. Making a statement in the 5th August sitting of the National Assembly, the Prime Minister announced the start of a local investigation into the allegations.
Recently, Mr. Speaker, certain serious allegations have emerged in relation to Mr. Abbas, including the allegation that he obtained his St. Kitts and Nevis citizenship by fraudulent means. As a consequence, my government has taken decisive steps to protect the reputation and integrity of our country. Specifically, the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Gilroy Brandy, has initiated an investigation into this matter with the full support of all relevant international law enforcement bodies. The passport of Mr. Abbas has been deactivated, and the matter of the revocation of Mr. Abbas's citizenship has been put before our Attorney General for advice and guidance on the same.
Hush Puppy was noticed for his lavish lifestyle, now known to be paid for from the proceeds of victims who were scammed by him and his associates. Glenn Bart reporting for SK Newsline.
In a related story, the St. Kitts Nevis Foreign Affairs Minister backtracks and apologizes for statements made on the Hush Puppy issue during his press conference as the head of the Nevis Island administration.
Premier Mark Brantley, who is Minister of Foreign Affairs for St. Kitts and Nevis, has apologized for his earlier statement regarding convicted Nigerian scammer and money launderer, who also was accused by the US FBI of obtaining St. Kitts and Nevis citizenship through false documents and bribery of a government official. Premier Brantley, who was hosting his monthly press conference, said information he had seen in the plea bargain signed by the convicted Nigerian Raymond Abbas, popularly known as Hush Puppy, had not implied any wrongdoing by any official from St. Kitts and Nevis when he was questioned by a member of the news media. After the press conference, SKN Newsline had contacted the Premier for clarification on his statement after seeing a release issued by the U.S. Attorney's Office, Central District of California, which named the case of bribery involving $50,000 and a false marriage certificate to obtain St. Kitts and Nevis citizenship for Hush Puppy. Subsequently, the Premier retracted the statement based on the additional information of which he became aware, addressing the matter during his On the Mark show that he hosts on Wednesday nights.
And now that I've seen the charging documents, I've seen the press releases, etc., and there's a suggestion that something untoward might have happened, I'm aware that the Honorable Prime Minister, as Minister of National Security, is in fact seized and is dealing with that. And I will say no more on that because, of course, it will be a matter for him to address that. But all I would like to do, because I like to be forthright and honest in my dealings with members of the public, is to apologize for that. But I really answered the best that I could based on the information that I had at the time of the press conference. And so to the young reporter who asked me the question, I would wish to apologize to you as well, because I again would have erred because I did not have more information than the plea agreement. And again, in the plea agreement, there was no reference to anything untoward in relation to a Sincus Nevis passport. Since then, some allegations have come to light, and those allegations, as I said, have been properly put in the hands of the relevant authorities who will deal with them accordingly. I will therefore leave that, but I wanted to just clarify how I fell into error in relation to my own responses on that matter.
The Sincus and Nevis connection was also reported by several international news media organizations. Glenn Bart reporting for SK Newsline.
When we come back, police provide more details on the August weekend drowning off the coast of Redonda. Elliot's Funeral Parlor is the first licensed embalmer in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. We have a friendly and professional staff. At Elliot's Funeral Parlor, we offer a wide range of packages from $6,500, homegoing service at chapel, locally made caskets, tailoring of outfit for deceased of your choice, wake, overnight with slideshow, funeral, death announcement, obituary, booklets, family pin-ons, memorial books, preparation of funeral arrangements, wreath, fresh and artificial. For further information, call 469-3298, 664-2007, or 660-0186. Elliot's Funeral Parlor in Gingerland, Nevis. Dedicated to those we serve.
When you need electronics or appliances, find just what you want quickly in one location. Yes, everything's under one roof. Only at Smart Electronics. We have tons of name brands, amazing service, and easy layaway plans. Summer is just around the corner, and we will save you the hassle of walking around town or going to St. Martin. We have everything you need right here in St. Kitts, so don't get confused and go different places. We are located at Port Zonte opposite the food court. Visit us today, or if you have any questions, you can call 466-4271. Smart Electronics, way to live a smart life. Terms and conditions apply.
Where will we go when the quarantine thing done and everybody touch?
An open interactive event can be described as
tremendous, effective,
on par with any conference around the world.
From exhibitions to trade shows, corporate events to product launches, from press events to political functions. We are the secret sauce behind events that make you go, wow. We've staged multiple world-class events in the Caribbean and developed the skill to deliver quality in every detail, whether the event is live or fully virtual, or maybe even somewhere in between. At Open Interactive, we got your events covered. Get your free quotation today at www.madebyopen.com.
Auto Plus Car Wash, located on the College Street Gut, Bastille, St. Kitts. Bring your car to Auto Plus Car Wash to remove water stains, wiper marks. Get your doors, roof panel cleaned, seat floor mats, buffing, headlights, and engine wash. You get quality service at the best price at Auto Plus Car Wash. They really care for your car. Call 765-5140 or visit them on the College Street Gut, Bastille, St. Kitts. Auto Plus Car Wash, where the service is number one. Welcome back. The police have provided more information of the drowning incident off the coast of Redonda. SK Newsline's Jacinthia Teixeira reports.
The police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the death of 37-year-old Gerald MacDonald of Connery, who died while at sea on Monday, August 2nd, 2021. Investigations so far have revealed that he went out to sea with a group of males to do tankless spearfishing and to dive for whelks off the island of Redonda, sometime after 7 a.m. MacDonald went diving and did not resurface. Reports also indicate that the other individuals searched for him and he was discovered several meters away from the fishing vessel in an unresponsive state. They brought him ashore and called the authorities. The police responded, as well as the St. Kitts Nevis Coast Guard, the St. Kitts Nevis Customs and Excise Department, and the Nevis Air and Seaport Authority. MacDonald was pronounced dead by the district medical officer. An autopsy will be performed to determine the exact cause of death. Persons with information about this incident are urged to contact the Charlestown Police Station by dialing 469-5391 or the nearest police station or the crime hotline at 707. Investigations into the matter are ongoing. Meanwhile, police have confirmed that a man named Richard Poxon, also known as Russell of Lodge, was reported missing on Sunday, August 1st. SKN Newsline understands that Poxon's vehicle was left parked on the pasture at Arthur's in Deep Bay, but he is nowhere to be found. SKN Newsline will provide more information on the incident as it becomes available. I am Jacinthia Teixeira for SKN Newsline.
The Clarence Fitzroy Brand College is promoting entrepreneurship in its curriculum. More in this report.
The government's push to promote entrepreneurship in St. Kitts and Nevis resonates loudly at the Clarence Fitzroy Bryant College, CFBC, according to officials from the institution who were guests on the government radio and TV program Working for You on Wednesday. Dean of the Division of Adult and Continuing Education, Wanda Hughes, said that the course design at CFBC, particularly at the Technical and Vocational Division, has aspects of entrepreneurship built in. This helps to expand the opportunities that students may consider after leaving the tertiary educational institution. Course areas offered include Information Technology, Agricultural Science Studies, Office Administration and Management Studies, Automotive Engineering Technology, Refrigeration and Air Conditioning. Entrepreneurship at the Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Education level is offered at the Division of Arts and Sciences and General Studies, ASGS. Ms. Hughes noted that the business major is always the largest group. She indicated that the spirit of entrepreneurship runs deep within the students.
I want to begin with TechVoc. And the reason I'm beginning there is because the TechVoc programs have built-in entrepreneurship, all of those programs, business law, and so on. So those students in particular, when they leave CFB, they very often don't work for anybody. At the CAPE level, the business major is always the largest group. And of course now there's CAPE entrepreneurship, which is all about, of course, your own business. How you go about setting it up, how you go about being successful, and so on and so forth. And the reality is that off the top of my head I can think of quite a few ASGS graduates, not just CFB graduates, TechVoc graduates, but also ASGS graduates who have never worked for anybody. Some of them went off to university and they came back and they went straight into their own businesses. So there's that component built in directly in the case of TechVoc, in the case of ASGS, for the business students, it's a major part of what they do.
Interested individuals can enroll at CFBC at the regular price of $35 up until Sunday, August 15th, 2021. Late enrollment will extend up until Tuesday, August 31st, 2021 at the cost of $85. I am Jacinthia Teixeira for SKN Newsline.
When we come back, regional news.
The SKN Newsline website now offers you more news. Log on to www.sknnewsline.com for local, regional, and international news. You can also watch the latest newscast and keep abreast with news in sports, all from sknnewsline.com. That's www.sknnewsline.com. News at your fingertips.
It's the new and improved SKN Newsline Android mobile app. With the SKN Newsline app, you can watch your news reports, the SKN Newsline Newscast, sports, special features, and so much more. You can also send us a WhatsApp or call us directly. Go in the Google Play Store, search SKN Newsline, and download the app today. The SKN Newsline mobile app. News on the go. Welcome back. For the big stories in regional news, we now have our Caribbean news segment. Commissioner of Police in Jamaica, Hugh Falk, says the independent body Indicom has launched a probe into claims by a teenager that a female police officer cut her locks while in lockup. Meanwhile, Culture and Gender Affairs Minister Olivia Grange, in a statement Tuesday, says if found to be true, those in breach should not be allowed to continue to serve in the Jamaica Constabulary Force. CVM TV reports.
If found to be true, those in breach could be charged or face other penalties based on the recommendations from the Independent Commission of Investigations, Indicom. Indicom boss Hugh Faulkner notes their recommendations could vary depending on the findings.
The recommendations could include disciplinary processes, could include a charge, etc., or whether the inquiry finds that no wrong was done. The allegations would raise concerns as to the abuse of rights, according to the female teenager, while in custody at the Four Parts Police Station in Clarendon. The unauthorized cutting of locked hair by a law enforcement officer would be undesirable.
He says if found to be true that the woman of Rastafari faith was shaved unwillingly at the hands of the police, it would be a breach of her constitutional right.
Which includes the right to equality before the law, the right to humane treatment by any public authority, and the right to freedom from discrimination on the ground of your race, your place of origin, social class, color, or religion, among other things.
Yes.
So Indicom will seek to determine what actions were taken, if any, at the police station while the teen was in police custody, to determine if rights were breached according to the laws of Jamaica, and to make the pertinent recommendations.
Mr. Faulkner says while the police have launched their own investigation on the orders of the police commissioner, an independent take is often welcomed. He says they've already made contact with the woman's lawyer and her mother and issues this caution to security personnel.
I would encourage, and I believe most law enforcement officers are compliant in that regard, but those who are inclined to be errant, I would ask them to get in line with what is correct, what is lawful, what is consistent with force orders and what is consistent usually with international law.
Nika Lewis, CVM Live.
In the meantime, Culture and Gender Minister Oliver Grange, in a statement Tuesday, says if found to be true, those in breach should not be allowed to continue serving in the constabulary force. She says it would also be a gross violation of the young woman's human rights and a very serious disrespect to her sacred religious practice. Minister Grange says it is wrong for any person to forcibly cut the hair of another or discriminate or deny services because of how a person wears his or her hair. She says she's awaiting the Commissioner's investigation and the actions that will follow, adding the investigation must be quick and transparent. She says if the allegations are proven, there must be sanctions against those responsible. Grange says she agrees with General Anderson's statement that any police officer who in 2021 would violate any person's rights in this way should not be suitable to continue as a policeman or woman.
Welcome back. For the big stories in regional news, we now have our Caribbean news segment. Bus operators and owners in Grenada took to the streets of St. George's to spread awareness and a resolution to the issues confronting them. The elephant in the room is the skyrocketing fuel price. To the cost of inflation, busmen are finding it hard to survive with government seemingly unresponsive. More from GBN TV.
Gas price must go low or keep must go.
The revelers have chanted "No jab, no vote." Now the bus owners and drivers are singing a different tune, but almost to the same effect. The major complaint is about the high cost of gas at the pumps, which has risen to $16.36, 4 cents less than the all-time high of $16.40. Derek McKenzie, PRO of the National Bus Association, says the protest is to highlight the issues they are faced with following unsuccessful engagements with government.
And then you have like the bigger small business, structured business, they have control over the pricing. So they get to pass that price back to the customer or the consumers. And we can't because our industry is government regulated.
McKenzie says government must address the $5.50 petrol tax to give relief to all motorists.
If the government make $5.50 on every gallon, they could do something that could help us cushion, take off at $2 or something like that. If they fail to do that, then eventually the bus fare, we do have a choice, it will have to go up.
He says they have also had enough with the gender-biased facilities at the bus terminal, which does not cater for female bus drivers, as well as the potholes that damage suspension parts.
And parts are expensive. Everything is going up except we have a bus fare that's been there since 2007. We're in 2021. So our industry needs some serious injection, some serious attention.
The PRO says the outcry is that government listens and finds solutions to their plights. Finance Minister Gregory Bowen, during post-cab on Wednesday, had this response to the busmen's demands.
So we have tax reduction one way, tax reduction the other way. Right now, we have to get funds in to help our indigent people so we understand what is happening out there. But at the same time, you must understand that's the only way to give a break is to cut back on the limited revenues.
Another issue government has failed to address is the call for a national moratorium on the issuing of stickers. Plus, McKenzie adds they await acceptance or denial for the position on the National Transport Board. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
Japan is preparing emergency restrictions to 8 more prefectures to fight a surge in COVID-19 cases as worries grow about strains on the medical system in Tokyo as it hosts the Olympics. The move comes on Thursday as coronavirus infections surged at an unprecedented pace. Al Jazeera's Andy Richardson reports.
Well, the number of new daily coronavirus infections in Tokyo has gone above 5,000 for the first time ever. Cases in the Olympics host city are rising faster than ever, fueled by the more contagious Delta variant. More widely, Japan's government has extended emergency measures to 8 more regions. Here's the data from Johns Hopkins University. This is the last 30 days in Tokyo alone. So 30 days ago, we were looking at approximately 500 new cases a day. When the games started, around 900. bringing us now 2 weeks later to the point where there are 5,000 plus cases a day. And then more widely, this is Japan, not just Tokyo, the whole country since the start of the year. And just as a point of reference, the Olympic Games began at this point, and I think the graph kind of tells the story past that. Andy Richardson, our correspondent in Tokyo. It was not long ago, Andy, that Olympics organisers were saying that their games had nothing to do with the rise in cases across Japan. It would be hard to argue that now.
They are going to try and argue it, though, I can assure you, Kamal. I mean, you were putting those figures into some sort of context. I was standing here last week saying figures in Tokyo have hit 3,000 for the first time. That was a new record then. And the fact we've hit 5,000 today shows just how quickly this situation is escalating. The state of emergency just a few days ago was extended here in Tokyo until at least the end of the month. From a sporting perspective, that really matters. And that was going to have an impact on the Paralympic Games. Because there had been hopes that spectators and fans could be allowed in for the start of the Paralympics. There's still a chance that that could be the situation for the last few days of that event, but it all looks increasingly unlikely now. And I think there is a growing sense of frustration amongst many people here we've spoken to. The vaccination rollout was slow. The backstory there is that in the 1990s, the Japanese government was hit with a number of liable cases and was found liable for side effects from other inoculations. So it was a very cautious rollout of the vaccine, and that's now having an impact with this new Delta variant surging all over the country. It's not just an issue in Tokyo, it is all over the country. And I think the state of emergency itself is a bit of an oxymoron because it's not a law or an order. It is a request for people to perhaps stay at home and work from home if they can. It's a request for restaurants to close early. And perhaps not surprisingly, people are maybe not adhering to those requests when that same government is also carrying on with the Olympics.
Andy, can you give us any indication of what things are like actually in the Olympic Village, which is really supposed to be the heart of the bubble, which is supposed to keep this virus contained?
That's right. I mean, every day you will hear the high number of screening tests they've done, the low number of positive cases, and they will repeat that there is no link, no provable link between the athletes' village and what is happening there and the wider surges in Tokyo and around the rest of the country. There were 31 new cases today. What's interesting about the breakdown of that number is that 23 were residents of Tokyo, residents of Japan, either working as contractors or volunteers. They're not staying in the athletes' village. So this idea that there's no chance of there being a link between a positive case in the village and in the wider community is increasingly difficult to maintain. They say that it's a big TV event, the Olympics, and it's actually encouraging people to follow the state of emergency because of the high TV ratings, and it's encouraging people to stay at home rather than go out because obviously no fans are allowed at the venues. But there is a frustration. There's a frustration amongst epidemiologists, not just amongst the public, that at a time when the Delta variant is surging, that the fact the games are going on is sending out the wrong message. It's sending out a message of optimism, that you can relax, and people aren't aware, because of the fact the Olympics are going on, just how serious the situation is becoming in Tokyo and in the wider country as well.
Andy Richardson with that update from the Olympic Games host city, Tokyo. Thank you. We'll stay in Asia.
In a joint statement, Democratic governors of neighboring states are urging Governor Cuomo to step down. Independent investigators say Cuomo sexually harassed 11 women, including 9 employees and a state trooper. He denies any wrongdoing. NBC News reports.
From New York City to Albany, today the calls for Governor Andrew Cuomo to resign grew even louder.
He's got to go.
In a remarkable joint statement, Democratic governors of neighboring states are urging Cuomo to step down following President Biden's earlier call for him to resign. Independent investigators say Cuomo sexually harassed 11 women, including 9 state employees and a state trooper assigned to his security detail that he first met at this event in 2017. Another accuser, Charlotte Bennett.
We should impeach the governor.
Bennett was Cuomo's assistant. In a clip released by the Attorney General's office, Cuomo banters with Bennett over the phone, then briefly sings to her.
Do you love me? Do you really love me? Do you love me? Do you care?
Bennett told NBC's Kate Snow Cuomo would go further.
He started asking questions about, my sex life.
What did you think his intent was?
He said he was looking for a girlfriend. He was propositioning me for sex.
In that pre-recorded statement Tuesday, Cuomo forcefully denied all of the allegations, including Bennett's.
I have heard Charlotte and her lawyer. Simply put, they heard things that I just didn't say.
He argues the investigation was politically biased, even though his own office called for it.
In your view, is there any way he avoids impeachment?
No, I don't believe he does.
Andrea Stewart Cousins is the top Democrat in the state Senate.
There are 11 credible women who have come forward courageously, told their stories, and those stories were corroborated by others.
At least 3 local DAs have now announced they're looking into the case for possible criminal charges.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.
It's official. Don Grant and Atiba Harris will be the presidential candidates for the upcoming St. Kitts and Nevis Football Association SKNFA Executive Committee elections, slated for August 29th. The SKNFA this week released the list of candidates who will contend for the positions in the upcoming elections. The list was issued in accordance with Article 11 of the SKNFA Electoral Code, thus providing the requisite notice to the SKNFA membership. The list of candidates nominated to contest the various positions on the Executive Committee are Don Grant and Atiba Harris as presidential candidates, First Vice President Cornel Williams and Sean White, Second Vice President Tonya Lawrence and Cuthbert Keynes. Members Raymond Brantley, John Bergen, Dwyer Edmead, Elaine Morris, Marjorie Jordan, Tasha Parry, Joseph Wilson, Ernest Quealy, Kendale Liburd, Phil Cooper, Almond Crook, Javine Blanchett, Carlton Pinney, and S. Patricia Claxton. The 2021 SKNFA Congress is scheduled to take place on Sunday, the 29th of August, at the St. Kitts Marriott Resort Grand Ballroom. The outgoing president, Mr. Anthony Johnson, served 2 terms as president and has signaled his intention not to seek re-election. The St. Kitts and Nevis Football Association, the SKNFA, has announced that its various football leagues will begin on Saturday, September 18th, beginning with the SKNFA Premier League. The dates for the various competitions are Premier League on September 18th, Division 1 League September 21st, Keith Gums Under-17 Boys League Tuesday the 21st of September, Elvis Star Brown Women's League Sunday the 26th of September, the Reserve League Monday the 27th, the SKNFA Youth Premier Cup Under-13, the SKNFA Youth Premier Cup on the 13th, and Atiba Harris Under-15 Boys League, both beginning on Wednesday the 22nd of September. The SKNFA said in a press release that the full competition's schedule will be circulated in a subsequent correspondence. All football leagues were suspended late May due to a COVID-19 outbreak in the federation. Stephen Gardner of the Bahamas added the Olympic title to his World Championships title, overtaking Kirani James of Grenada late in the race to clock a season's best 43.85 seconds. Colombia's Anthony Jose Zambrano was second with 44.08 seconds and James third in 44.19 seconds. The Caribbean added another gold medal to its tally when Hansel Parchment of Jamaica in Tokyo on Wednesday night, when he won the 110-meter hurdles with a stunning run, beating red-hot favorite Grant Holloway of the United States in the final. Ronald Levy, the national champion, took the bronze in 13.10 seconds, just behind Holloway, the second fastest ever in the event.
Hansel Parchment, yours is a long and storied career, including overcoming injury. Here you are today, the Olympic champion in the 110 hurdles. What does it mean to you?
So happy, so excited. And I just want to take a little time to big up Gardner Chiropractic and Neurology and Winchester MRI, because I've been there for several MRIs for these injuries. I've been to Dr. Gardner quite a bit of times getting adjustment. And, you know, I think he's probably one of the most happy person right now.
I bet he is. What an endorsement. Hansel, a slow start again, but nobody in the world can match your finish. Tell us about the race and that dip.
Slow start? That's probably one of my better starts. I saw myself there, and, you know, I wasn't even looking right or left. I was just focusing on getting back to the ground, because I knew, you know, once I maintain my composure, I'm going to get closer and closer. And when I got to the line, I just decided just to run. You know, that's something my coach always tells me to do. Run through the line, don't dip too early, just wait until, you know, you're close. And that's what I did. It was a perfect race, I would say.
Yeah, it did look like you had to make up some ground. You know, we spoke to Grant Holloway. Grant Holloway said you've been coming to him every round saying you were coming. He said, I thought he was kidding. What have you been telling him? How good does it feel to get past Holloway today?
I've been watching him on my TV, you know, when I was home and injured, and he's such an inspiration. He's such a great hurdler, you know what I mean? And it was a lot of fun competing with him. I got 3 rounds with him, and, you know, I got to see how he runs and see how he comes out, and, you know, I think I used that to my advantage, and I got the win.
Just
really
so
happy.
incredible. The Olympic bio says that when you won bronze in London 2012, you became the first Jamaican to win a medal in this event.
Yes, yes.
What does it mean now with gold?
Well, you know, it's just showing the power that Jamaica has across the board, you know what I mean? We're moving away from just the 100 and the 200, and we're taking over in other events now. And I think we will have a lot more hurdlers coming up very soon.
When we spoke to you in the last round, we heard you say, you know what, I'm ready.
Trust me, I was ready mentally. It was just to get the legs up to speed, and I did a really good job. You know, shout out to Kettle, the therapist. He's always working and getting me ready, and, you know, I'm just so happy that I could make everybody proud.
You are a great inspiration and a deserving champion. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And that will do it for this edition of the SK Newsline Newscast. For more stories, log on to our website, www.sknewsline.com. From all of us here at SK Newsline and at Channel 95, I'm Andre Huey. Thank you for watching.